We talk about the anatomy of a negotiation. So what is negotiation? Simply put, negotiation is the process to get what you want from another person. In general, negotiation is a discussion with someone in order to reach an agreement. It is the heart of all human interaction. That doesn't mean you have to actively negotiate everything in your life all the time. But it does mean that if you are more conscious of the interactions, then you can get more from your life. This program is to make sure we, you and I, get the most from our lives and the situations we live in. Hi, I'm Gaurav Juneja. I've been a negotiator for the last 17 years across all the career that I've had. I started off as an investment banker where I've negotiated deals worth millions of dollars. Post that, I started my own venture, Star Quick, which I sold to the Tata Group and negotiated that entire transaction from raising funds from our investors and all the way to the sale to the Tata Group. And now I'm leading digitization at Google, where again, I am dealing with and negotiating with some of the top corporates in the country. So yes, negotiation has been a key to my success, and I hope I can add some value to your journey. In the corporate world, negotiations are formal discussions between people who have different aims or intentions. These negotiations can either be successful or not, based on whether the parties involved agree to a mutually beneficial deal or not. Basically, negotiations are an integral part of our daily lives, and each of us needs to wear the negotiator's hat from time to time. Negotiating has a lot to do with human behavior. Deepak Malhotra, in his book Negotiating the Impossible, says that negotiation is all about how you engage with the other human beings such that it leads to better understandings and agreements. The truth is, we negotiate every day and with almost everyone. Children negotiate with their parents. I know my kids negotiate with me all the time. Employees negotiate with their bosses. Government officials negotiate with their counterparts from other countries or with the business. Workers negotiate with their clients, and spouses negotiate with each other. In a corporate setup, we mainly negotiate for the following reasons: to sell a product or service, to determine salary or compensation, to resolve a dispute between parties, to agree on how to share limited resources, to convince people to take your side in an issue. We negotiate with clients on terms of service, product or service prices, negotiations around investments into startups and companies. It could be a negotiation in terms of engagement in joint ventures, mergers and acquisitions. Salary negotiations are inevitable at every job interview. Sales negotiations are unavoidable for every business, and every successful negotiation helps you advance your career and in return wins more customers and improves profitability for the organization. In all of this, there is one common thread: a goal. When we are negotiating, it is for something, which is a goal. A goal is what you want at the end of the negotiation. We will learn strategies to achieve that goal. Let us understand the structure of a successful negotiation through a case study. Everything we need to do in a negotiation is to get closer to that goal. Let us look at an example. Arpita is being interviewed for the position of a content writer by Ashwin. While she has impressed Ashwin with her writing and communication skills, now starts the critical part of salary negotiation. We've all been through that. Let's see how Arpita behaves. Arpita has prepared herself for this and already has a figure in her mind. As Ashwin asks her about her salary expectations, she replies, "Well, I'd like to know more about the position and be sure that we're the best fit for each other." Ashwin explains to her about the position and asks her what salary she would expect for the role. Arpita takes a moment and replies, "I really like the position. I would especially like to work on the creative projects that you described. I also noticed that your website is not up to the standards of a content agency, so I would help on that front as well. What sort of budget do you have for such a role?" Ashwin replies, "Sahil, the person who did this job before, was earning 40,000 rupees a month." Arpita responds, "But now you are looking for someone much more experienced who can also manage clients end to end." Ashwin confirms, "Yes, ideally we would want somebody who can handle clients as well." So Arpita states, "So the salary for this must be significantly higher than what Sahil was being paid, no?" And Ashwin says, "I would have to check this with my boss. I'm not sure if he's ready to pay more than what we paid to Sahil." Arpita is happy, but she replies, "That is fine. You can talk to your boss and get back to me. I'm sure he will understand that I have more experience than Sahil and I am looking at a more senior role. I'm confident that the organization will only be benefited from my skills and experience. At this point, Ashwin warns her by saying, I have been told that we are on a limited budget. If you accept 40,000 rupees to begin with, we can have a deal right now. If not, I'm not too sure. Arpita calmly responds, I appreciate your frankness, but I'm looking for a more senior role. If my experience is valued at the right level, I am very much interested. If not, then I'm sure there are better people for the role. In fact, I can recommend a friend of mine who is good but isn't as experienced. Ashwin replies to that, no, we're definitely interested in you. I'll talk to my boss and get back to you by the end of the week. And with this, Arpita closes, it would be my pleasure to work with you and I'm positive about adding great value to the organization. Arpita knows that without even disclosing a salary figure that she has in mind, she has won the negotiation. And she smiles and she thanks Ashwin for the consideration and leaves with a positive feeling about the interview. A few hours later, she receives a call offering her 50,000 rupees per month. That was exactly the figure she had in mind. She accepts it readily, as that means a hike of 25% from her salary at her current job. It's important to dissect and understand what Arpita did here and did very successfully. First, she planned and prepared. She had planned for a figure in mind and had prepared the roadmap on how to get there. She even did her research on how the company's website can be improved. Second, she shared information and discussed why she deserved more. By this, she made sure that Ashwin was interested in hiring her, and that too with a hike in her current salary. Third, she bargained very effectively by being firm that she wouldn't accept the offer made by Ashwin and would rather recommend her friend for the position. Fourth, she gave Ashwin the perfect closure to the meeting by showing interest in adding value to the organization. So these 4 points we discussed are basically the phases of a successful negotiation dialogue. Let's recap. Number 1, planning and preparation, where you establish your purpose. Number 2, sharing information and discussion. Number 3, bargaining. And number 4, closure and deal.